everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and I thought I would give you a quick little video with my favorite top 10 books. And this is a really short list because I actually have hundreds of books that I love, but I've narrowed this down to 10 books that I refer to all the time and that I have used over the years over and over and over again. If I have something I'm looking up or a remedy, these books have been a real game changer for me. So I'm just going to go through them very quickly, and then they're all going to be underneath the video in the show notes where you can actually see exactly what book they are and the author. So let's just get started. So this was one of the first books that I bought when I was really making a serious library. This is called the One Earth Herbal Sourcebook. Now the nice thing about this book, this is Alan Keith Tillotson, is that this is not just one type of natural herbal remedies. This is Western, this is Eastern, this is Chinese, this is our Ayurvedic. This is a beautiful, big resource book, and you can't tell that I have used the heck out of this book. I tend to be more easy on my books than most people, but this book is something that I have turned to over and over and over again. And I would say at this point, I've read it cover to cover, but not in order cover to cover. So this would be the One Earth Herbal Source book that is a really great resource to have. One of my very favorites. Now, the next two I'm going to show you are written by the same author. This is Phyllis Block. This is Prescription for Herbal Healing. This one looks a little bit more worn if you were to actually look at it because I've turned to this a ton. And then the second book by her is the Prescription for Nutritional Healing. And you can see these are big books. These are big, thick books, but they're super easy to carry around. I've actually, during the years that I've had all of these books, I've at one point or another taken a book like this on vacation, like on an airplane overseas, and this is my main book to sit in and learn from and read and mull through. And there's just everything in here that you could look up, every ailment, every food, every age group. I mean, this is just, these books have made just such a huge difference. Now this one is really cool, and this one's also very huge. The Alternative Medicine Definitive Guide. And this one is, there's over 600,000 copies of this book in print, and it's been in several reprints, but this is a kind of a hardcore book. This is compiled by Burton Goldberg, and you can kind of see, there's a little thing on here by Deepak Chopra. Again, super thick. I mean, there is so much ancient wisdom is what you start to really realize is that when you dive deep into herbal medicine, natural medicine, that there is thousands and thousands of years of human history that's been documented, and natural plants and herbs and all kinds of things have been used and documented. And it's just such a beautiful rabbit hole to go down that if you're like me and this stuff kind of trips your trigger, start with just one of these books and just build your library. And I'm actually one of those people that really loves to have a hard copy of a book because I like to mark them. I like to dog ear inside. I'll put sticky notes inside to save a page if I'm researching something. But these have been really super fun books for me to have. Now this one is cool. This is the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Herbal Remedies. And you can see this is C. Norman Shealy. And the nice thing about this is exactly what it says. Look at this, completely illustrated. And I can read big, thick books without pictures, but I'm very visual. And I have loved having access to this book. And it's a hardbound. So it's actually not an easy one to haul around because it is a little bit heavier, but it is chock full of really amazing home remedies, herbal remedies that you actually can see pictures on, which I love. Okay, now here's a kind of a big one. This is Medical Herbalism, the Science and Practice of Herbal Medicine. David Hoffman. This is a book that, again, is hardbound. I'm sure you could get this in paperback at this point, but this is something that you can look this up with different things like what is an ailment and what is an herbal. They'll give you all the herbal remedies. They'll give you all of the things that is basically medical herbalism. This is the stuff my dad really geeked on about as far as what plants what are their medicinal properties and what do they do? And what do they do for the human condition? And all the things that we suffer with because we're biology. So Medical Herbalism by David Hoffman has been a really, really awesome go-to book for me. Now this one has been one of my favorites. And this is Healthy Healing by Dr. Linda Page, P-A-G-E, you can see. Now the cool thing about this book, and I've gotten almost every single updated version over the years, this is the 14th edition. And it looks fairly new, but the last edition I had, I still have it somewhere here, but it is completely ratty because I have hauled that thing around and have done so much research. And that was actually one of the first books that I started using before you could really go online and do research just going on a search engine. And I feel like some of these things in these books have a little bit more truth to them than sometimes what you might find on the search engine, because I think that there's some biased views, and I really believe that these authors have gotten and done some very deep research. Okay, so this one, now you have to have some favorites that include a book on essential oils. Now I actually have several books on essential oils, and this is actually one of my older ones, The Complete Book of Essential Oils and Aromatherapy, Valerie and Worwood, and this has actually been a powerful go-to for me. And I know many of you are very much into essential oils like I am, and to me, having a book that you can turn to that gives you some really good information about essential oils, whether you can ingest them, whether you shouldn't ingest them, whether you can use them neat, which means straight on your skin, or you should add them to a carrier oil, what they're good for. There's so many amazing healing benefits with essential oils that I feel like there needs to be a book in everybody's library that covers essential oils comprehensively, because I think that's an amazing part of a toolbox. And I don't sell any essential oils except for the ones, there are some in some of our serums and salves, but for the most part, I just love and use essential oils pretty much every single day. I think they make a huge difference, mostly in my diffuser. So it kind of adds. Now there's the last two, so that was 8. The last two might kind of surprise you, but this book's had a pretty big impact on me. This is called Take Off Your Glasses and See. This is written by optometrist Dr. Jacob Lieberman. And some of you that have contacted me over the years, I might have recommended this book to you. This is not just about nutrition and eye health, but this is about things that you can do to keep your eyes and your eyesight healthy as you age. And something that actually really shocked me and surprised me when I first read this book, and by this point it's been probably 12 or 13, maybe 15 years that I read this book, and I'll still turn to it. But one of the things that surprised me most about this book is that you can actually do eye exercises that strengthen your eyes. Because if you think about it, we don't typically do that. We don't, we'll strengthen our heart, we'll strengthen our biceps, we'll strengthen our legs. But some of these organs that we don't really think about, it's like doing brain exercises. That is extremely important. So he's got this amazing guide and information about how to maintain your health. It's literally called Take Off Your Glasses and See. And as a person who got my first pair of glasses in 2nd grade, this has been something really powerful for me. Now, 20 years ago, I did have LASIK. And as a person who's getting a little bit older, my eyesight has kind of started to go back down a little bit. And it's kind of like, oh no, 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 no. So I pulled this book out again, and I really started reading this information again that resonated with me when I first bought this book years ago. So I think that's a really important book. Now the last one, this one, I love this human. He's personal development. This doesn't have anything to do with herbal medicine or alternative medicine. This has to do with personal development. And to me, this person is a pioneer, a true leader in thoughts and not just positivity, but actually how to get results. And this is one of my favorite first books I got. His name is he's not a doctor, Jim Rohn. This one is called Leading an Inspired Life. Now, the nice thing about Jim Rohn is that you can get all of almost everything he's ever done is all on videotape. Now, he is not alive anymore, but he is one of those people that actually has changed the game for some of the big personal development people in the world right now, like Tony Robbins. He used to be a person who would go hand out flyers when Tony Robbins was a young person, like, I don't know, 17, 18, 19, he would go hand out flyers to get people to come to Jim Rohn's personal development seminars. And that is how Tony Robbins got his start, is Jim Rohn was his mentor. And his style is still spot on. He's got these little old-fashioned quirky things he says that just are so beautiful. And Jim Rohn is one of the very first people that I started studying probably 20, 25 years ago when I really dived deep into personal development. So I think when you add this piece of personal development to all the learning that comes with taking care of yourself the way Mother Nature intended, it can completely change the game for you. So I hope that this list has resonated with you somewhere. Maybe if you, like I said, pick up one or two of these books and make it kind of like a Bible. I mean, I know some of these big, thick books have been like an herbal Bible go-to for me and have made a huge difference in the way that I take care of myself, the way I take care of my family, and even has helped me in the formulation process as I've, over the years, formulated my own herbal products. Because I think that we don't realize the power that we can have over our own health when we start to learn how to do these things for ourselves. It's very, very amazing and awesome, and kind of, in my opinion, the best time to do this right now in the year 2020. So I'll put all this below the video. Let me know if you have any questions, and maybe tell me if you have any of these books and which one is your favorite. Maybe there's a book that I left out. In fact, I'm sure there is, because this is a very short stack of books that I have in my library. I probably have, if I were to guess, I probably have about 300 books. And not all of them are this big and this gnarly. A lot of them, like I could have put in here, the 4 Agreements, one of my very, very favorite all time, kind of goes in the realm of Jim Rohn. But that would be a book, and I'll put that down in here too, as far as a book to really pick up and read or revisit. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what your favorite book is, and if you have any others that I didn't include that you think I should have included. So have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.